He's also nursing that big toe injury, all ahead of Sunday's AFC title game with the Bills. Former All-Pro running back Brian Westbrook joining us now. Brian, good morning to you. Thanks for hanging. You expect to see the same high-octane Chiefs offense if Mahomes is cleared to play Sunday?
Well, good morning, Jenna. And to be honest with you, I absolutely do. Because I know Andy Reid and I know their head trainer, Rick Burkholder, very well. And if Patrick Mahomes is out there on the field, they're going to go out there and run the same exact offense that they've been running all season. And so what Andy Reid is going to do is he's going to go back to that Week 6 game and say, why did we have success? And when I went back and watched the game, there was a couple of different reasons. The number one reason was because of the Buffalo Bills linebackers on every play, because they're trying to stop the pass, they were taking a step backwards. And that allowed the Kansas City Chiefs offensive linemen to get up on those linebackers and now clear a path for Clyde Edwards-Helaire to have 161 yards running the football. And that was why they were so successful as far as in that Week 6 game. Andy Reid is also going to go back to a couple weeks ago when the Bills played the Colts. And why did the Colts have so much success throwing the football as well as running the football? When you talk about running the football, Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, over 160 yards rushing the football. And that made the linebackers for the Buffalo Bills take a step forward towards the line of scrimmage. Now Phillip Rivers, with his accurate passing, was able to hit his crossers as well as some of his deep overs. And those are both things that the Kansas City Chiefs specialize in. And so, Nick, when I think about it, Leslie Frazier, the defensive coordinator for the Bills, is going to have to make a conscious decision. What are you going to try to take away from the Kansas City Chiefs? The run game or the pass game? Of course, with Patrick Mahomes, you're going to try to take away that pass game. I expect the Chiefs to run the ball effectively. And as soon as the Bills try to stop the run game, I expect Patrick Mahomes with that passing attack to be able to throw the ball down the field as well.
Yeah, that's all correct. And I've got good news and bad news for the Bills' small-time crime syndicate. I can't call you a mafia anymore, Bills fans, because I spent 2.5 hours searching the tri-state area yesterday for a single solitary Josh Allen jersey, and they're not for sale. So I don't know how big your mafia can be if you don't extend south of Niagara, because nobody's buying your team's jerseys. But that's either here or there. Oh, no. No, I asked you that. That was not the answer. So the good news for Bill's crime syndicate is today at 12:30 on the Herd, you get to watch me get the Pinto Ron treatment. The bad news is this, and deep down you know it's true. Your team hadn't played that well in the playoffs. Oh, Nick, that's outrageous. Hear me out on this. In both games, you've been outgained by your opponent. 75 yards and 120 yards. Outgained by the Colts and the Ravens. In those two games, your team is let me check, 6 of 22, yikes, combined on third downs. Your opponent is 16 of 34. So how have you won? The most unbelievable and unsustainable luck on red zone defense. In these two games of the playoffs so far, the Bills' defense has allowed the opponent into the red zone 8 times. And somehow the Colts and Ravens, those 8 red zone trips, have left with 16 points. 2 points per trip to red zone. By the way, 2 other times in the Ravens game, you let your opponent inside the 30, and they left with 0 points because of missed field goals. So that's 10 trips inside the 30, 16 points. That ain't happening on Sunday. So do I expect to see the Chiefs' high-octane offense? Well, I don't know, Brandon. Against the Browns, they literally never were stopped when Mahomes was on the field. They punted 0 times when Mahomes was on the field. So, yeah, I expect to see it, and I expect him to average more than 2 points per red zone trip, which is what the Colts and Ravens were able to muster in their first 2 games. And I think you know I'm right. I think that look on your face says you know I might be right.
You backed me into a corner here, Nick. You backed me into it. Can I just answer the question? I just want to answer the question. Because everything you said is a whole nother segment. We got to spend maybe another 10, 15 minutes talking about everything you said, because I totally disagree with you. No, I do not expect to see the Kansas City Chiefs high-octane offense. Why? For 2 reasons. the Bills' defense, that passing defense that you just talked about. Let's take a look at this graphic that will explain everything. Nick is savvy with his words. He has the science and the art of being able to be an awesome communicator on TV. But don't let those words fool you. Completion percentage, look where they're at. How did they go from one of the worst defenses to now look where they're at right now today? Yards per pass, touchdowns to interception ratio, and also passing rating. This defense is the real deal. And so, Nick, you talk about this red zone thing like it's luck. You said luck. It's not luck. That is an actual thing. They're a really good red zone defense. They're a bend but don't break defense. And the last thing, you'll take this graph off, and the last thing I want to say to you, Nick, before I pass it to Kevin, is the biggest X factor in this game is the Chiefs' running game. And it's not about if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is there, if not. It's about Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is deadly on the ground.
He's running
Every
on third
time
down.
you look up in those defense,
that's a good point.
When they're sputtering, he finds a way to pick up that 3rd and 7, that 3rd and 10. Now he has that foot in that toe, Wilds. That's a thing to watch out for in this game.
I've been watching, look, I've been scouting Patrick Mahomes toe videos and I've come up over. So I need the NFL reporting contingent to get deep into toe investigation. Brian, I want you to talk about Mahomes running, but I also want to talk about something near and dear to your heart. Something that pains you to see. And it's not Mahomes MVP talk over Aaron Rodgers. It is when you lay eyes on an imbalanced offense. I know it strikes you down to your very core when you see how little the Bills were running. And for some reason, they stuck with it, even though that offensive strategy netted them 3 points in the first half. So do you think they need to run the ball more, not only because it's the right thing to do, but also to keep Mahomes off the field, good toe or not?
No doubt about it, Kevin. I think you're absolutely right. The Bills need to run the ball more because, first of all, it's going to do a couple of different things. The number one thing is going to allow your offense to be balanced. That means now the linebackers step up a little bit, trying to stop the run. It's also going to take some of the pressure off of Josh Allen as a passer, not having to carry the entire game. Then the other thing, to your point, is it's going to keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. That's the one thing that the Bills can do offensively to slow down the offense of the Kansas City Chiefs. Run the football, hold on to the ball, try to get that time of possession up so that Kansas City and that potent offense, that high-octane offense that we're talking about, is on the sideline. That's going to limit their possessions. You're trying to take Kansas City's possessions from 12 down to 8. If you could do that, you're going to limit the amount of time they're going to score on you. That's a great idea, Kevin. They're going to have to run the football, but that's something that they do not do as often as they should. They depend on Josh Allen to win. And Nick, when you think about it, if they can run the football, keep Kansas City on the sideline, that's a great design. They just don't do it enough.
It's a great design, and it's the design everyone says going into games against the Chiefs. This is the strategy. And guess what? No one can do it. Nobody. The last 25 times Mahomes has played, they've lost once. Okay, let's try to do what the Raiders did. You know how the Raiders beat them? They scored 40. That's how the Raiders beat them. It wasn't, oh, we're keeping Mahomes on. No, they won the game 40-32. Bills,
his toe, his ankle, gang. What about his toe and his foot?
You guys, go try to outscore Mahomes. It's what you should do. But can we show just quickly, I apologize, Brandon's graphic, because it's a great graphic, but he left out one very important thing, if we can put it up. Look at the top. 3 words. Since week 7. That's all you need to see. Because here's the thing, I checked.
That's all that matters.
So why, pray tell, would we want to start counting the season after week 7? What happened in week 6? Oh, the Chiefs kicked your ass.
You do it.
So after the Chiefs,
you do it.
Yes, I agree.
You do
past
it all
defenses
the time.
look better. I do. I love doing it. But past defenses look much better if you remove the time Mahomes lit you up. I'd love to see a lot of teams remove the Mahomes game. Remove the Mahomes game.
My takeaways, Nick's fired up, Wild's
And to be honest with you, I absolutely do. Because I know Andy Reid and I know their head trainer, Rick Burkholder, very well. And if Patrick Mahomes is out there on the field, they're going to go out there and run the same exact offense that they've been running all season. And so what Andy Reid is going to do is he's going to go back to that Week 6 game and say, why did we have success? And when I went back and watched the game, there was a couple different reasons. The number one reason was because the Buffalo Bills linebackers